Welcome to my politics series. In this video, I would like to discuss why I am on the right wing. Because my political views are all over the place, and I think they tend to confuse people. This video will cover the four main reasons why I am politically on the right, although I refuse to vote again for the foreseeable future. I would also like to note that these are my personal political views, and they apply only to American politics. I view things differently when it comes to foreign politics, especially when it comes to Europe. I might support different politics depending on the country that we are talking about. For instance, I would not support somebody in the US that is on the far right, but I have no problem supporting somebody like Marine Le Pen in France. This is due to the fact that the far right in the US wants to ban things that I do not want to see banned. The far right in the US can have a negative impact on me, while the policies of Marine Le Pen would have no impact on me. I don't really care what Europeans support politics-wise, because I generally do not have to deal with the consequences of their policies, unless their policies end up causing problems for another group that I support. That being said, I do tend to support pagans across the board for obvious reasons, even pagan groups that I might find questionable. And of course, I also support people that are secularist. I don't think a multicultural society like the US really works without the type of secularism that we currently have in place. The problem is that the Abrahamic religions can't coexist because they all believe in one God. So when you got multiple monotheistic religions under one roof, then things become problematic, and the Abrahamic religions do not have a concept for staying in their own lane. And this is why the modern West is starting to fall apart. It's not because of pagans, we stay to ourselves. It's not because of atheists either. I have never seen an atheist try to convert somebody. It's not because of Gnostic Christianity. Gnostic Christians stay to themselves. It's not even modern Catholics. In fact, I have never seen a modern Catholic try to convert somebody. I did get yelled at once in elementary school for taking Eucharist when I wasn't Catholic, though. What I'm trying to say is that my foreign politics will be different depending on what country we are talking about and what foreign groups that I support. The first reason why I am on the right side of the political spectrum is that I think illegal aliens need to go back home. I fully support legal immigration, but I do not support illegal immigration. Illegal aliens drive up the cost of rent in the US, they drive down wages in the trades, they increase crime rates, and they are the reason why I do not recommend getting into most trade fields. Most people on the right advocate for people to get STEM degrees or go into the trades to make a living. Knowing some trade skills is incredibly useful, but you should learn the trade skills for yourself. You should learn them for personal improvement. You should not get into most of the trade fields to make a living. I would consider HVAC to be the only real exception to this rule, because HVAC is pretty important. It will also be in high demand for the data centers that are being built. The main problem with the trades is that you will not be able to compete with illegal aliens. They will have no problem undercutting your prices. This is a huge problem in my state. People in my state have gotten used to paying for cheap labor for most of the trades. If you are somebody that works in the trades and are asking for reasonable prices, then those prices might be too high. If you are not working for an HVAC company or a company that works with other businesses, then you should avoid the trade fields until the illegals go back home, because you won't be able to compete with them. At least not in the states that have an illegal alien problem. I don't think things are going to improve until America gets its house in order. The problem is that America is a big country. I don't know if it's realistically possible to deal with the illegal alien situation, because we are talking about tens of millions of people. The European right wing is talking about remigration, but I don't even know how feasible that will be in Europe. Modern leftist economics is the second reason. Modern leftist economic policies tend to be trash. I do not support state-owned grocery stores. I do not support rent control. Rent control is a stupid economic policy, and one of the many reasons why rent prices are through the roof. Modern leftist economic policies are just awful in general. The city that I grew up in was at its peak between the 1970s and 1980s. It had a Democratic mayor from 1970 to 1985, and the city was prosperous. But the Democrats back then were sane and had some common sense. The current Democratic leadership has let the city that I grew up in fall apart. It has become one of the poorest cities in New York. It has also become the third highest crime rate in New York. The city looks like trash, and there are a lot of boarded up houses. My old house recently sold for $260,000. Houses in my old city are affordable, but the city is not a place that you would want to live in or raise a family in, which is one of the reasons why I left after high school. This is not to say that I support Republican economic policies either. Most Republican policies are trash, and very few policies are used to benefit the people. I want American taxpayer money to be used to help out Americans that need help. I know I'm crazy for thinking this way. I live in my own little right-wing bubble. I support the US having a mixed economy, and I also support the Austrian School of Economic Thought. I consider the Austrian and Chicago schools of economic thought to be on the right. The third reason I am on the right is because I support US national security. I do not think the Republicans get national security correct all the time. But I do not think the liberals in the US have ever given a damn about US national security. As somebody that lives in a border state, and I'm not that far from the border itself, America's national security is one of my top priorities. The fourth reason is that I believe in law and order. This should be obvious because I made a video stating that right-wing pagans are the boot and the bootlickers. I do think there are some laws that should be revised. There are some laws that I straight up disagree with. But if you commit a horrible crime, then you should be locked up for life. And I think everybody should be equal in the eyes of the law. This means that everybody should get the same jail time for the crimes that they commit. I am tired of the current US justice system doing whatever it wants. This is not justice, and I am tired of pretending that it is. What puts me in a unique position on the right is that I strongly dislike communism, socialism, fascism, and white nationalism for the US. It all needs to go. These political ideologies are not American, and they have no place here. America is the US Constitution and the Bill of Rights. America gives you the right to pursue your own happiness and not to be ruled over by thugs. If other countries want to adopt these political ideologies, then that is fine with me. I realize America's economy is a mixed one. It's a mix of capitalism and socialism. I do not have a problem with America's mixed economy, but I do not support the US going fully socialist. Nobody would support this ideology if they knew the history of it, and I'm not talking about the 20th century history of it. I went to Catholic schools growing up, and I graduated from a very diverse public school. So unlike other people on the right, I don't have much of an issue with diversity. This is the reason why I consider myself to be a moderate right-winger. But if you commit a heinous crime, then you should be thrown in jail. I have a zero tolerance policy for people that commit heinous crimes. These are the main reasons why I am on the right, even though I'm in my own little bubble. I just don't care about a lot of the issues that other people on the right care about. I am tired of being told that I should care about superficial crap when I don't care about superficial crap. I do not care what clothes Trump wears, what skin color you have, or what you do behind closed doors. I care about crap that impacts me. I am pretty reasonable when it comes to my politics. Thanks for listening. Have a fantastic day or night.